Hello, everybody. This sketchbook update is very overdue. I had been planning to try and do these like once a week or after every drawing stream, but a lot of the time lately it's like every time I've sat down to draw, it's just not gone anywhere. The drawing streams definitely help keep me practicing though, so I am very happy to do them with you guys. Plus, you have all been so supportive, and I appreciate it so much. So this right here is just going to be a collection of the things that I've either worked on my own or during the drawing streams. There's a few things that have been updated. Like this one, I was just working on figure drawing. I've been trying to work on figure drawing a lot lately because I don't feel like I am doing the best that I can with it. I have found a few new people to watch that do tutorial videos on like proportions and how to measure things out, so it's just been a work in progress, as most things are. And then I do have my doodle pages from the last few drawing streams that I've done. Don't forget, it's always good when you're drawing to have a doodle page spare. I like to use them just to sketch out anything or just keep my hand moving while I'm trying to think of what to add or what to do in a drawing. And then this here is something I am still working on. This time-lapse though, it was done right after the original drawing stream. I'm not sure if I will have this done in the time frame that the person requesting it had asked. So I will see what I can do. I also just haven't really sorted out a good way to get things to people. Like, I don't want people's personal information, so I have to figure out how best to go about putting artwork, like, for sale or anything else in a way that works for everyone. Because I don't want people's personal information. I don't want my personal information out. So far though, I do like the way it's turning out. There's very much that I still need to tweak about it, but we're getting there. More doodle pages. This one I used during that original drawing stream for the previous work to try and figure out how I would move certain parts of the animation. So the newspaper that the person's reading, I like kind of storyboarded it for myself on how I wanted it to move throughout the animation. And for this one, I really wanted to draw Kindred, but I really, for some reason, every time I've tried to draw Kindred from like League of Legends, I just can't do it. I don't know what it is. I've like looked at drawings and everything, but I was able to draw the masks, so at least there was that. But I've looked at drawings of them, I've tried just gesture drawing to try and get things where I want them to be. Nothing. I don't know what it is about Kindred as a design. I just can't seem to draw her. Well, then. Draw then. It is 2 characters in 1. And here it was really funny because someone had asked something about skeleton and then they said ribs were really tough. And then I mentioned the floating ribs and they were like completely shocked that we had floating ribs. So we did a demonstration of which ribs are real, which ones are false, and which ones are floating. The human body is so strange. And then obviously for every doodle page we have to have the obligatory eye doodle. There's always one there. And we have more figure drawing. This one I had, while I was live, I had up like images of people in motion or in certain like poses Because one thing I realized is that I really need to work on using references better. It's not that I never use them, it's just that sometimes I'll have it there just like briefly and then I won't really reference it enough during my drawing, I guess. It's hard to explain. But generally I'm just very bad about using references. I've always drawn from my head and it always drove my teachers nuts. Oh, and here's our angry fish person, and the horribly written list, because my handwriting was just absolutely abysmal that day. And then it was my second, maybe third attempt at drawing my Aura from Final Fantasy XIV. I really enjoy drawing her, so I think I might draw her more, like, moving forward. But I went into major detail working on the scales in her horns and on her face this time. And I really like detailing like that. I don't know. It's something I find very cathartic, like going into like major detail on one spot. But the problem with that is that I won't be able to do it for the rest of the render. So I don't know, it's just another thing I need to work on, I guess. And then for this one, I tried to cut it down to like just the parts that I have improved on over the last few times I've brought this drawing up during a drawing stream. I keep putting this off because her hand is driving me nuts, and I know that once I draw like the keyboard and everything, because my plan for this is to animate her like typing back and forth on A and D, and then I'm gonna put continue across the center of it, kind of like old school House of the Dead continue, and then have like yes and no highlight as her fingers move. But her hand has been driving me nuts because I am terrible about foreshortening. And I really need to work on my perspective drawing. But I feel like myself, as well as many other people, cannot stand perspective drawing. I'm so bad at it. But it is something I plan to practice soon. And there's a few more figure studies that I did. I feel like I'm getting better at doing like certain aspects of a drawing, but I'm struggling a lot with my final renders for the most part. That's where I have been finding it most difficult. Oh, and we also drew a gestural and Minoko's mask from Clair Obscure, which I don't know how many of you that are seeing this now have actually tuned in on my live streams, but if you haven't seen anything about Clair Obscure, it is a very beautifully done game, and I highly recommend trying it out or at least watching someone play through it. If you're not very into turn-based games yourself, the story itself is actually really well written. And then we had a day of hand practice. I used to really love drawing hands, like in high school and college, but it just kind of dropped off. There was like a good, I'm trying to think, I want to say 6 years where I just didn't have time to draw. And that's why I feel so weird now getting back into it, especially because for a long time I just didn't touch anything. I didn't touch a sketchbook or a tablet or anything for drawing. So like when I started drawing digitally, everything felt so strange. And that's part of the reason I wanted to start doing my drawing streams with you guys too, because it definitely, like I said previously, it helps me practice. Oh my god. And then we drew mono because part of the drawing for a hand I was trying to do didn't turn out right. And one of my viewers mentioned that it looked like a little alien, so we went ahead and we finished drawing him. His name is Mono and he's wonderful. But no, I wanted to do the drawing streams because they do help me practice, and it's very nice to just relax and do something just very casually. I like doing my streams to hang out, you know? Like, we're there to either enjoy art, or we're there to enjoy a video game, or we're there to just chill and exist. And there's no crazy things going on. Or at least I attempt to make sure there's no crazy things going on. And then there was some mouth practice. This one, the quality might not be amazing because my canvas size is usually fairly large and I don't feel like I filled this one out too well, so I did have to zoom in through DaVinci when I'm doing the editing here. So it might, like, the line work might look a little bit blurry, and I do apologize for that. I'm not entirely sure how to fix it in DaVinci. I'm still learning my editing software as a whole, to be honest. Which, it's kind of hilarious because my YouTube channel has been around for a couple of years, but for the most part, I'm very bad about, like, looking things up. And I really should. I should look things up more often. But I just, for some reason, I'm so stubborn, and in my head I'm like, oh, I can just figure it out. No. The internet has resources, and I need to learn to use them. This is where we're at right now for mouth drawing, because I realized most of my drawings, when I draw people, I don't really put much attention on their mouth, because for a lot of it, I worry I'm gonna make them look like a duck. Like, their mouth is just gonna look too weird. And plus, I never want the mouth to be like the entire focal point of the drawing usually. I actually prefer to keep the eyes or hair as my focal point when I'm doing people, like when I'm drawing people. And then this one, I don't know, I got carried away with it, but it was a lot of fun, that last mouth. This, I think I was trying to work on drawing heads from different angles, which I very quickly stopped doing that, and I just start working on the first one I drew instead. So clearly that whole practice did not work out very well. But it's okay. Her pose is a little stiff, I will say, but I ended up just working on her hair more than anything else. Another thing I really want to practice doing is clothing, so that's probably going to be a future stream. And then this, I was asked by someone if I could, like, draw a skull and then pull it apart by the sutures like a puzzle, and that is exactly what we did. Granted, it's only one angle of the skull. The skull has so many sutures. But yeah, that is my update for right now. I will be doing more drawing streams in the future, but for now, this is where we are at. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all of you who come by my streams and hang out with me. It really does make my entire day. Like, you have no idea. The amount of support you guys show is just so wonderful. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your week, and honestly, just a fantastic year. Hopefully this year has been good to you so far. And never forget, do what you love. Like, you don't have to be good at your hobbies. Just enjoy them. That's what they're there for. See you all later. Bye!